the Oscars is this Sunday, so I figured I'd put out a video of my best guess for Oscar predictions. This isn't my personal list of who I would give the award to. This is my best guess on who will win the award based on scientific data and numbers crunching, and I totally didn't just circle some winners about an hour ago. But there's reasoning behind a lot of these. So we're not going to do every category because I don't think, frankly, you guys care about like the best international short film. So we're not covering everything, but we're covering most of them. I will also give you some betting lines as well because in some states I know you can actually bet the Oscars for all you degenerates out there. So I will give you the betting lines if you're interested in making a wager. Before we get to the nominees, though, I will ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow. YouTube's kind of lame now. They make you have 1,000 subscribers to even get monetization, aka to get paid. So I need 1,000 subscribers because I have a kid at home and he needs to eat. And then like the video if you actually like it. If you think this video sucks, there's a thumbs down option as well. So you can hit that. I don't care. Your negative reviews don't bother me. I don't read the comments and cry at night. Anyway, let's get to the awards, all right? Animated feature film. How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. And I think the Oscar will go to Missing Link. Now, this is at a plus 850. The favorite for this one is Toy Story 4 at minus 500, and Klaus follows in second with plus 400. So Missing Link at plus 850 is good value. I picked this because, one, I thought it was a really, really good movie. And two, I thought the animation was very interesting with the stop caption. And I think that the Academy likes stop caption. Honestly, I haven't gone back and looked at the history with the animated feature film. If they gave it to Toy Story 4, I would have absolutely no problems with it. But I feel like Pixar a lot of times dominates this category. So Missing Link is my pick. But once again, I'd have no problem with Toy Story 4. I had it in my honorable mention for Best of 2019. If you watch that video, it's available on the channel. Just click it. So I love Toy Story 4. I have a Buzz Lightyear backpack, actually. I'll show you right now. There it is, Buzz Lightyear backpack that I carry around. So I'd have no problems with it, but for something tells me that Missing Link will end up winning the Oscar. All right, let's move on to cinematography. The nominees are The Irishman. I'm not going to give you the name of who it was, but The Irishman, Joker, The Lighthouse, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And the Oscar will go to Roger Deakins, 1917. This is the biggest lock on the board, in my opinion. If you can find this at a betting, at a casino or a sports book, take it. It's minus 1,500. There is no way in hell Roger Deakins and the way this movie was shot does not win Best Cinematography. It's won a ton of awards if you follow the Golden Globes and BAFTA. It's racking up all of them. But this one right here, the cinematography one, is the lock of possibly the decade because of the way this movie was shot. The one-take myth. It's not one take, obviously. The idea that a movie was shot in literally 2 hours is ridiculous. But the idea of it was unique. And even though there's at least 2 scenes where you could clearly say, cut, Roger Deakins, lock of the century. So 1917 will win Best Cinematography, the Oscar. All right, we're going to move on to Best Directing. Nominees are Marty Scorsese for The Irishman, Todd Phillips for Joker, Sam Mendes for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. And I think that the Oscar will go to Sam Mendes for 1917. Now, this is at minus 650. He is the favorite. Next up is Bong Joon-ho for Parasite at plus 350. But this is a movie that is racking up, as I just said, all the awards, including, I think, cinematography. So I think 1917, I think Sam Mendes is going to take this for just being a forward-thinking guy and making this movie, in quote, once again, one take. It's a myth, but still people run with it and love it. So I think that Sam Mendes will take this one. Usually, I will say, the best director, sometimes, a lot of times, maybe sometimes, I don't know, maybe this is a myth. I probably should have stopped a long time ago. But usually best director ends up winning best film. We have to wait to see if I agree with that sentiment. But in this case, I think the directing will go to 1917 because out of all these guys, and they all were great, I felt like his movie really stood out into, okay, like this was a really different thing that you did in making it the one once again myth, one take. So I think Sam Mendes is gonna get this one. Okay, makeup and hairstyling. I think I could use the hairstyling part today. Nominees are Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent. Serious? Maleficent? Okay. All right. There's always one movie at the Oscars where you go, like, how? Like, I remember Dirty Grandpa got nominated for an Oscar, which, like, okay. And it was actually the same thing. It was makeup and hairstyling. But, all right, Maleficent. You have no shot, but you get invited to the dance. And 1917. And I think the Oscar will go to Bombshell. Now, this is the favorite at minus 550. The next closest is Joker at plus 425. But I think Bombshell is going to make it because they literally turned all three of those women, well, at least two of them, who were based on real characters. I don't know if Margot Robbie's character was based on a real person or not, but Megyn Kelly and I forget who Nicole Kidman played. I apologize. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch the news. All right, so I apologize. But when you watch interviews with them and pictures with them, especially the pictures and the hair, all that, they turn them into the characters. And also, same thing with the head of Fox News, who I'm also drawing a blank on, but they turned him into that guy, and I think that this one's going to win. So that's at minus 550. I think that's a pretty strong one to be a lock. All right, we're going to move on to Best Original Score. The nominees are, I'm not even going to attempt to say her name. I apologize, but we'll just call her Hilder. Hilder for Joker, Alexandra Desplat for Little Women, Randy Newman for Marriage Story, Thomas Newman for 1917, and John Williams for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. I am very confident in this one. I think that the Oscar will go to Hilder for Joker. Now, the two movies that I saw this year where the score really stood out to me were Joker and 1917. Now, when I saw Joker, I was lucky enough to see it a few days before it was released. And when I left the theater, I actually found her Twitter account and tweeted at her, I hope you get the recognition that you truly deserve for this movie. And she saw it. She liked it. And this isn't even a humble brag. This is a flat-out brag because she saw it. And I was ahead of the game, and I'm usually not right, but I was right on this one. And she's won the Golden Globe for it. She deserves it. If it went to Thomas Newman for 1917, I'd have no problems with that. He's the second at plus 300. But her score just set the tone for this movie and really added to it like no other score, I think, this year. Once again, the second closest was Thomas Newman at 1917. And it's ironic because when I did my 1-minute recap for that, which you can find on the YouTube page, I actually brought up Thomas Newman. I didn't even bring up Roger Deakins. I brought up Thomas Newman and his score. So I wouldn't have a problem if he won, but I really think it's going to be Hilder. I think she truly deserves it. And yeah, I was ahead of the game because she liked it. She saw it. We're best friends. Moving on. Visual effects. The nominees are Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And I think that the Oscar will go to Avengers Endgame. Now, they are the favorite at minus 150. I want to say I would not be shocked at all if it went to The Irishman, because I truly think that the Academy a lot of times agrees with Marty Scorsese and the whole superhero movies aren't real movies angle of it, and the Academy loves Marty Scorsese. So I wouldn't be shocked. A lot was made about the de-aging process. Truthfully, I thought it was overblown myself. I don't think The Lion King's going to get it, although I do think that movie was visually stunning, even though it was hot garbage. 1917, visual effects, I mean, visually it was stunning in the sense of the set more than anything. So the way that they recreated trench warfare, if that's what they mean in visual effects, and that's very well could be the case, then yeah, they deserve not the nomination. But in terms of, I mean, okay, moving on. You get where I'm going with that. And Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, I actually thought this is probably the second one that I would go to. Visually, I thought it was really, really good. I thought the movie was subpar, but I thought the visual effects were great in it. But I think Avengers Endgame will take it. I thought Endgame was the best movie of the year. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was number 2 behind Us. I did a top 5. You can find that on the channel. So, Avengers Endgame, minus 150 for visual effects. All right, now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of the awards, right? Actor in a leading role. The nominees are Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. And I think the Oscar will go to Adam Driver for Marriage Story. I know. Hit the breaking news sounder. He is plus 900. Joaquin Phoenix is minus 2,200, 2,200. This is probably the biggest me going on a ledge for this whole picking. But the reason I'm picking Adam Driver is because I'm finding it hard to believe that the Academy is going to give not only a superhero movie, but the same character an Oscar again. They already gave it to Heath Ledger for Joker once. And while I think Joaquin Phoenix deserves this, 100% deserves it, I just have a feeling they're going to go, Joaquin, you got BAFTA, you got Golden Globes, we've given your movie some awards with the original score. It's not that we don't like you, but we love Marriage Story and we love Adam Driver. And I think Adam Driver was phenomenal in the role, and he is number 2 in the odds at plus 900. But something tells me that he's going to get it. And if I'm wrong, fine, whatever. I'm probably going to be wrong on a lot of these. But something tells me that the Academy isn't going to give in to the peer pressure of giving Joaquin Phoenix in a superhero movie with the same character that won about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was. I don't know. I don't think that that they're gonna do it. So I think Adam Driver at plus 900. I think he's good odds, but obviously I wouldn't be shocked if Joaquin wins it and he's the favorite. So we'll move on to actor in a supporting role. I don't know why I said supporting like that. Nominees are Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Can't have Oscars without Tom Hanks. Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I think the Oscar will go to Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He is the favorite at minus 2,000. And I'm not going to talk necessarily about his performance because I think there's great value in this category. If you're betting this category, Joe Pesci at plus 800 is phenomenal value. And I'll tell you why. Because the Academy loves Joe Pesci. They love Martin Scorsese. They love mob movies. Old white dudes eat that shit up, right? Also, Joe Pesci is a phenomenal actor. And we know that this is going to be his last movie. And a lot of times you're not able to send off the actors that you love and admire and have adored their work for years. You're not able to send them off with an award as kind of a swan song. And when you think about some famous actors, like Gene Hackman's last movie was Welcome to Mooseport. You probably thought you were getting a pretty good movie after that, right? No, Gene Hackman was like, Ray Romano, you did me in. Sean Connery's last movie was The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You probably thought you were getting a movie after that. Nope, Sean Connery's like, I'm done. Joe Pesci was done. And Marty Scorsese gets him back. He's not coming back after this, right? So I could totally see the Academy in a nod to Joe Pesci, giving him this award. And he deserves it. I really think he was tremendous in the role. Now, so while I will think that Brad Pitt does end up getting the award, I could totally see the Academy giving it to Joe Pesci. So I think if you're betting the Oscars, plus 800 is great odds for a guy who has already stated this is his last movie and is a guy who the Academy loves. All right. Actress in a leading role. The nominees are Cynthia Erivo. I think this is to say her name. I apologize to Cynthia. She was in Harriet. Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan for Little Women. Charlize Theron for Bombshell. Renee Zellweger for Judy. This is a lock. This is almost as big of a lock as Cinematography. Renee Zellweger for Judy. She's minus 2,000. The Academy absolutely adores when you play a real person. And lately especially, it seems like it's more a competition in these categories of can you imitate the person more than maybe the way your acting ability. And not to say that some past winners weren't tremendous in the role, but when you're able to see somebody that maybe you were able to see earlier and they're recreated on screen by somebody, it's like, wow, you're taken aback by it instead of an original performance from somebody from a made-up character. So I think that the Academy, filled up with a bunch of old people, will love Renee Zellweger in the role of Judy because they love Judy Garland from The Wizard of Oz. So I think that she is an absolute lock for this. Honestly, if I'm being fully transparent, this was a weak year for actress in a leading role. I mean, Charlize Theron was good in Bombshell. Was she award nomination worthy? I don't know. Same thing with Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story. She was really good in it, but, once again, it doesn't matter. They're all just showing up to watch Renee Zellweger win this award. Actress in a supporting role. The nominees are Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh for Little Women, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. And I think the Oscar will go to Laura Dern for Marriage Story. Laura Dern killed this role, and she's the favorite at minus 1,600. The last one on this one was Kathy Bates. I think she was like plus 2,000. I don't think she's going to win because of the negative backlash surrounding Richard Jewell. I thought she was great in it. I think the actress in a supporting role was a stronger category than the actress in a leading role. Like, for instance, I thought Scarlett Johansson was better in Jojo Rabbit than she was in Marriage Story. But, and she was really good in Marriage Story. I don't want to take that away from her. But, Margot Robbie in Bombshell was good. I don't think she should have been nominated, though, for it. So this was actually a pretty good, strong category, though. But Laura Dern really stood out, where when she popped on screen in that role, you kind of took a step back and go, okay, like, that's definitely going to be nominated, and it was, so I think she's going to win. And we move on to writing adapted screenplay. All right, so this is the basically something taken from a book or a previous story, and you're adapting it. The nominees are The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and The Two Popes. And I think the Oscar will go to The Irishman. Look, I was having real difficulty finding odds for this anywhere. So the only odds I could find were The Irishman. It was plus 850. It's not the favorite. I think the favorite is actually Little Women. But I think this is going to win based solely on the fact that this is Marty Scorsese. Excuse me while I take a drink. And his comeback role. His last movie that he did was Silence. And Silence I thought was terrible. It was extremely boring, and it made me feel like I was walking through Japan looking for Liam Neeson. And it was drawn out long, not very good. And The Irishman, he kind of went back and played the hits that people love, right? A mob story. But also, this movie was 3.5 hours long, and at least to me, and granted, I saw it in the theater, so it's a little bit different of experience than people that saw it at home. But for me, it moved right up until the last 20 minutes. 20 minutes dragged. So I think that they're going to give this to The Irishman, so that Marty can get up there and be on stage. Then the screenplay was by Steven Zazilian. I think that's how I say his name. So I think he would be the one accepting the award. But I find it really tough to believe that The Irishman is going home empty-handed, because it's got too many iconic names in it not to win an award. And it was also a really good movie. I know that happened last year with The Post, where you go, okay, it's Spielberg, it's Tom Hanks, it's Meryl Streep. How can it not win? That movie was average. They mailed it in. The Irishman was really good. So I think that's going to win for adapted screenplay, but it is not the favorite. So plus 850, it's good value. All right, writing for the original screenplay. Nominees are Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And I think the Oscar is going to go to the favorite, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, full transparency, I didn't really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In fact, I have a 1-minute review of it on my YouTube channel where I'm getting just eviscerated by Quentin Tarantino fanboys telling me I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't. It was 45 minutes too long. It was drawn out. There was too many forced foot shots. It felt like a typical Tarantino movie to me. And I'm not a Tarantino guy, and I will be the first one to admit that. I'm not going to praise a guy that I just don't really like. But with that said, the Academy loves Quentin Tarantino. And I'm in the minority, and this isn't the video for the movies that I think should win. It's the video for the movies that I think will win. And I do think that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, after 19 minutes, I can't talk all of a sudden. I do think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will end up winning. It's minus 160. The second closest is Parasite at plus 175. Parasite also has a really good shot. Obviously, it's number 2. The Academy's going to be obsessed with that one, but something tells me that Quentin Tarantino is going to take this one because he keeps hinting at, this is going to be his last movie, and it just adds to the buzz of, all right, let's get him an award, let's force it in there. So something tells me Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will end up winning. All right. And this is the one that you came for. Best Picture. The nominees are Ford v. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And I think the Oscar will go to Parasite. The favorite for this is 1917, minus 240. And it is getting every other award, whether it be Golden Globes or BAFTA. But there's some things that the Academy loves. The Academy loves reading subtitles. They adore that shit, right? It makes them think they're intellectual. They get up there, they're like, oh, you don't get it because you're stupid, you don't want to read. I like to read. All right, I'll get up there. I'll read from the movie screen. I love it. I eat it up. I can read. Look at me. No hooked on phonics for this guy. They love that shit. They love random, unique artistic shots. This movie has that as well. And they love black and white. And you might be saying to yourself, Pat, this movie's not in black and white. Oh, no. No, it is. It got re-released in black and white. The Academy loves black and white. They eat that shit up. So this is going for everything. The artistic angle, black and white, subtitles. It's got it all. And lately, it's been making a huge push in the betting odds as well. So this is the second closest. It's plus 300. I actually locked this in on my bet. This is also a lock to win the Best International movie as well. So there is a shot that the Academy will go, look, we already gave it Best International. We're not going to give it Best Picture. But I don't believe that's ever happened before, where the movie that wins Best International also wins Best Picture. So this would also bring a lot of news to the Golden Globes, or I'm sorry, the Golden Globes, the Oscars, which has been getting a lot of heat for not being, quote unquote, inclusive. So what's a better way to be inclusive, or at least fake that you're inclusive, by having a movie that is a foreign film from, I believe he's a Korean director, win Best Picture? I think Parasite's going to win. And that's one of the reasons why I picked Sam Mendes for Best Director, because I think if Parasite doesn't win and 1917 wins, I think Bong Joon-ho ends up winning Best Director. So I think this is flipped. So Sam Mendes will win Best Director and Parasite will win Best Picture. And if Bong Joon-ho wins Best Director, then 1917 will win Best Picture. But I really, truly believe that Parasite is going to end up taking this. So those are my Oscar picks for this year. You can write in the comment section yours. Truthfully, I do not read the comment section because it is usually a cesspool of upper crusty, just self-entitled douchebags who are insulting, and it makes me feel bad about myself. And I don't need that in my life. I want to feel good. I want to laugh. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like the video, all that good stuff, and enjoy the Oscars.